Hi, I am Carolina Toth, and today I want to talk to you about a story. Um, I have a friend who is a really close friend of mine, and we've been talking about how she's not entirely happy at work. But right now, it's the midst of the coronavirus outbreak in 2020. So she doesn't think that it would be a good idea for her to switch jobs right now. And she suggested that I talk about this topic on here because we talked about it a lot between the two of us. So this video is for you if you are not sure about what to do with your life right now, but you are not entirely happy at your job and you just want to clarify some things or get a new perspective on some things anyway. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. So this is gonna be a longer video than the ones I had recorded before, and sorry if I stumble, but I am not entirely sure about video editing yet, so you just have to bear with me. So there are some things. First of all, if you are not happy, there are probably a lot of reasons ready in your mind about why you're not happy. If I may offer, you should write those things down. But to make it a little more organized, you should write them down into separate columns, stating the good things and the not so good things at work. And this could be, anything from what makes you excited to go to work. What are some of the tasks that you are always happy to do? Who are your favorite colleagues? And of course, in the other column, write down what is it that's particularly dreadful in your situation. Are you lacking some processes that should be put in place? Do you not have the support that you need to do your job? What are some tasks that always make you feel, unhappy or bored or whatever? But first, you should, really look at what you're working with and understand what it is that's actually making you unhappy. And you might find that some things have skipped your attention and those are really making you happy and you can learn, or there are some things where you are growing even though there are some things that make you unhappy. So once you have this list, I hope it's exhaustive, but look at it again and just think about some things that you might have missed, whatever it may be. Look through your list. It might help if you explain it to someone, because writing and talking engage different areas in your brain. So if you're talking to someone, some new things might come to mind. Write those things down too, so that you can have somewhat of an exhaustive list, because this is going to help you really understand what you're going through. So once you have your list, examine it. Can you find some patterns? Have you stumbled over some really straightforward related issues? Is it that you hate doing a task, or is it that you hate doing any task with a specific person? So, just make sure that you are aware of what it is that makes you icky or unhappy. And now that we have that, find out what you can do to make yourself feel better. So one of the first things that comes to mind is, of course, talking to your supervisor or your manager or whoever it may be, and get their take on things if you're on that kind of a relationship level with them. If you're not, as a coach, I always, advocate for the belief that you are who is foremost in control of your life, and you decide how you experience your life. So the wonderful thing about humans is that we can have the same thing happen to us and have completely different experiences. So if you just try to shift where you put your focus now that you have a list of things that you actually like at work, it might be helpful, and it might give you some initial progress on really just like feeling better. But then, what are some real actionable tips? Like, when you find things that are enjoyable, could you plant some of those things in the not so enjoyable list? So for example, if you really like a certain colleague, could you manage to work with them more, perhaps on tasks that you don't particularly enjoy? If you are the one who really manages your own time at work, then could you really allocate more of your time to the things that you enjoy? Would that be possible? Perhaps. It's up to you, but, look at your schedule, you get your list, and be sensitive about it. If you are in a management position, could you delegate some things that you don't find particularly enjoyable? Remember, we have different kinds of experiences, and if you're a manager, I'm sure you do one-on-ones with your staff and kind of try to get to know them and what their goals are. So it could be that you don't enjoy holding some specific meeting, and some of your staff really enjoys the facilitation, and you can hand over that particular meeting and have it off your list, and free of mind. But it may be tasks that you find just boring, that some people find actually those tasks relaxing because it gives them a real escape from having to do whatever it is that they're doing all day. So now that you have looked at your list a little more, what other things could you do besides changing your schedule up a bit? What would it be that would make your time worthwhile here? So hopefully you have many good things on your list besides some of the things that you don't really like. But hopefully some of those good things are actually make your time wonderful. But if they aren't there, really look at yourself and think, what is it that I enjoy doing? What kind of position would I be happier in? What are some of the experiences in your past that have given you the most joy in the work-related situations that you have been in? And if you have gone through all of these questions, hopefully you have sort of an idea of of how to expand your already existing list with perhaps adding some new kinds of tasks or taking on other responsibilities or switching teams or whatever it may be. And so now that you have this list and you have looked at your tasks and have looked at what you enjoy, and if you still can't find enough things on your I like to do this at this job list, then it may be time to actually make a new list with all the things that you enjoy doing. So irregardless of where, irregardless is really not a word, or is it? So regardless of what you're doing right now, make a list of things that you have actually enjoyed doing in the past, or things that you would like to try yourself in. And this can be very specific, it's helpful, but if you can't yet get that specific, then try to start out from the broader perspective and look at, general activities that bring you joy in the first place. And hopefully this new list will actually really sway you in the right direction as to what you want to do in your next career step. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried not to ramble too much. Please let me know if you try out making a list and if it works for you. And well, I am Karolina Tóth, and I hope to see you next time.